Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Nicole Smith and I'm a realtor here in Jacksonville, Florida. And today I want to share with you the 10 things I wish I would have known before moving to Jacksonville. Thanks for sticking around, friends. Now, I've been living here in Jacksonville, Florida since 2014. And the only time I had ever been to Jacksonville was on my way home from a cruise out of Fort Lauderdale. So I never actually stayed in Jacksonville. I didn't really know much about Jacksonville. So after my cruise, when I got back home to Canada, I did some research. And some of the research I did, of course, was really good research. But you don't know what you know until you know what you know, and you know that you know only what you know until you actually live in a city. So I'm going to break down the 10 things that I wish somebody would have shared with me about Jacksonville, Florida. And if you stick all the way down to the very end, I'm going to add a couple bonus ones as well. So first and foremost, the one thing that I did not know about Jacksonville and Florida in general is the pollen. I mean, I had never seen pollen like this. You will come out of your house and your car will be completely covered with pollen. And it's like this greenish yellow film, and it will cover your entire car. You will have to get your car washed quite frequently. And it almost looks like snow sometimes. It is that thick. And when it does happen, if you have allergies, you are definitely going to feel it. The thing is about the pollen here is you never know when it's going to come. We've had pollen in the middle of January before, and it's been cold. So there doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason for when it comes. It's not just spring or fall or whatever. It just comes when it comes. So expect that you're going to have to probably join one of those car wash memberships where you can get as many car washes as you want for a flat rate. They do have quite a few of those in the city, so you might want to take advantage of that if you're really into making sure your car looks clean all the time. The second thing I want to point out is you never know when the seasons are going to start and stop. So if you're coming here from the north, or even the west for that matter, the weather patterns here are nothing like the north. They're nothing like the west. And what I can say about it is it's always a few months off, let's say. So for example, we do have 4 seasons because we are in the northern part of Florida, but they're not as bad, of course, as farther north. And when we're in winter, the grass just kind of stops growing, which gives us a little break from cutting it. And it does get a little brown if you don't, continue with your irrigation. And a lot of people do have irrigation here, but they tend to stop it during the winter. So during the winter, it can get really cool here. In fact, sometimes you'll see frost on your windows when you wake up in the morning. So if you are moving from the north and you're used to having a snow scraper in your car, bring it with you. You're actually going to need it. And I don't know of too many people in my neighborhood who actually have a snow scraper, but I kept mine, and I'm glad in the morning when I have it so I can scrape my car off. The winters here tend to not last long. There are a couple days here and there, then they warm up, and then you get another couple days here and there. So it's not bad, and it's actually quite a nice reprieve from having a lot of the heat. And the best seasons here are actually spring and fall. Now, spring and fall, you can have your windows open, you can enjoy the breeze, you can be outside more, and that's when a lot of people take advantage of their lanai. If they have a sun porch or if they have a screened-in porch, they really enjoy the lanai and the breeze. But typically in the summer, you're not going outside to sit on your lanai because it's far too hot. It is too hot and too muggy, but it is great to go to the beach. It is great to jump in the pool and go swimming. It is great to barbecue. You know, you can go for long walks, and the sun does stay out longer here in the evening, so it's nice that you can go out for a nice walk after work and enjoy the sun and watch the sunset. We are on the eastern part of the Atlantic Ocean, northeast, so the sun does not set here as far as on the ocean side, but it does rise. So if you're an early morning riser, I would suggest you try to get down to the beach and watch the sun come up. It is the most spectacular thing. If you've never seen it, you'll want to do it, and take that time to wake up early and get down there and, you know, just enjoy the splendor of the sun coming up. It's something just magical about it. The other thing I wish I would have known before I moved here is that this community has so many communities. It's like unbelievably mapped out. I mean, there are some communities that are fairly new and they're gated, and you need to get a code or some sort of card to get into them. Then there's other communities that are, you swear you're in the country because there's ditches everywhere. So it's very, very different. So you could be on one community with a ditch, a few blocks over, you're gonna have beautiful houses that are newer. Then you might even see a trailer somewhere in between. So communities are very diverse here, and so it's good to get a lay of the land and know exactly where you're going. One of the things they do seem to do here is they ask you what subdivision you live in, and I found that a little strange when I first moved here, because I would ask someone, oh, where do you live? And instead of saying, oh, I live on the north side or the west side or the south side, they'll say, oh, I live in Palencia. I'm like, well, okay. But until you're here, you don't realize that's what they do. And I'm not sure if they do it because some of these communities are very well known and they're gated and they're really a high class place on some of them. And others is just like, oh, I live over in Beach Haven. I live in Kensington. I live in the beaches. People just want to kind of tell you their community in a community sense of their subdivision. And that leads me to the next thing I want to talk about, the HOA. Do you know what an HOA is? I never heard of HOA until I moved here. And so that was another thing I wish someone would have told me. So this is number 4 secret that I wish I would have known. HOA stands for Homeowners Association. Now, anytime you drive up into Jacksonville and you see a sign at the end of the corner of the block that says, let's say, Hidden Hills Community, that means there's an HOA in there. That means that all the neighbors are paying into that HOA to keep that HOA in a solid position. So for example, if that HOA has amenities, if they have pools or a park, your money's going in towards the pool and the park to keep it in current condition and to keep it in good condition. So all the neighbors will split on that. But some communities don't really have anything. They just have streetlights and a sign. Well, guess what? You still have to split on it. And the fewer the houses, the more it will cost you. So just be prepared. That's going to be part of your expenses if you're looking for a house with an HOA. And they're very popular here. In fact, it's actually rare to find a community without one. The other thing, the number 5 thing, is a CDD. Have you ever heard of a CDD? I never heard of a CDD, and that means Community Development District. Now, what that means is that builder has paid all the money for the infrastructure of that community. They paid for all the piping. They paid for all the electricity. They paid for all the plumbing. They paid for the roads. They paid for everything. And they want their money back. So when you move into that community, you get that bill and it's attached to your house like a mortgage. You have to pay it. It's like a 30-year cost in most cases. And when you sell that house, you either pay it off or you sell it with, and the next owner gets the CDD. So you have to be aware that that's going to impact you for your buying power, because the CDD will bring down your price, and so will the HOA. Any type of fees like that, they have to do with your down payment, your payments, how much money you're going to be able to spend and afford. So the newer the community, the higher the CDD. The more things they have in that community, the higher the CDD. So just keep that in mind when you're coming here in regards to your budget. And they are all on the MLS. And if you want to put a comment down there and you're thinking about a certain community, I'd be happy to check that out for you to tell you what the actual CDD cost is currently, and if there is an HOA fee and what it is currently, because typically the HOAs do go up slightly every year just because of the cost of everything. So the number 6 thing I wanted you to be aware of, because this was new for me too, and this is a secret. When you go to the grocery store here, you have to be very, very strategic. And what am I talking about strategic? You need to bring either a cooler, ice packs, or make sure you're going straight home or your groceries will perish, okay? Meat, ice cream, anything that you buy that's for the freezer. The heat here is so hot that there is no doing all these other errands first. The grocery store has to be the last on your list so you can get home and get those groceries into the fridge and freezer. So please be prepared and be organized when it comes to shopping. And if you have errands to do, the groceries is the last on your list. That is a great tip and a secret I wish I would have known before I moved here. Now, the number 7 secret that I want to share with you is rain. Now, no one ever tells you to prepare yourself for rain. Not like the rain here. It is torrential. I mean torrential. You can't see in front of you. You can't, it's like a snowstorm, but it's rain, okay? And it typically happens in the summer every day. And it's not an exact time, but let's just say at 3 o'clock every day, it's gonna rain for a good 20 to 30 minutes, and then it's gonna stop, and then it's gonna dry up, and then you'll never even knew that it had rained. But if you're out there, it is not fun to drive in that rain. It's not fun to walk outside and be poured on. So always, 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 always keep umbrellas in your car. Always have a rain jacket close by. And if you have rain boots, I would suggest bringing them with you. You never know when you're going to need rain boots, because the puddles here are fierce and the rain comes down like it's like I've never seen it. So be prepared. The rain is serious, and I wish I would have known that secret. And if you know the rain forecast for that day, you might want to try to avoid, having any outdoor events around that time, because it will ruin them. You do before, you do after. Never during the rain, because it will not be light, not during the summer season. The next secret I have for you is number 8, the terrible drivers. Lord forgive me, but the drivers here, I don't know where they learn to drive. They could be all transplants as well, so it's not just people who only have been born and raised here. But I have never in my life seen such terrible driving, ever. And I've lived in different cities and countries. People that drive here, the one thing that gets on my nerves, and maybe it's just my own pet peeve, they will drive slow in the fast lane. Do not drive slow in the fast lane. Pull over to the other lane, please. Please, I beg of you, please do not drive slow in the fast lane. The other thing they don't know how to do is they don't know how to merge. They don't know how to get onto a freeway, and they definitely don't know how to get off of a freeway. It is so terrifying. And I've even seen people stop at the bottom when it was a yield, and they came to a complete stop. And I was like, what are you doing? Oh my gosh. It's terrifying. So yes, be careful when you're driving here. Be aware. You have to be a defensive driver here. You have to be quite aware. I find a lot of people here will text and drive, and that's why on a beautiful sunny day without any rain, there'll still be accidents. It's because people are being careless and they're not paying attention. So be aware. The drivers are not great here, and you will have to be a defensive driver. The other secret, number 9, that I want to share with you is the driver's license tags. So if you buy a new car here, your initial cost will be $225 just for the tag, not including title, not including anything else. And they may have no state tax here, but they will fee you to death when it comes to all these little fees. And the other thing is, when you go to the tax collector's office, and that's another thing, that's where you go to get everything for your driver's license. It's kind of strange. So beware, they don't have a DMV if that's what you're used to, a Department of Motor Vehicles. Everything is done here at the tax collector's office. They're all over the place, but be prepared that you should take the entire day off, because it is not a fast process. And with COVID, it's even longer, and most of the time you're not even allowed to sit inside the office. So don't get dropped off. Make sure you have your own vehicle and you're waiting in your vehicle with a phone that can accept text messages. That's a secret you need to know. And the thing is, when you go there, if you pay for it with a credit card or a debit card, they charge you a fee. So bring your checkbook or bring cash. That will save you some money. My number 10 secret is hurricanes. Okay, when I came here, I researched hurricanes, and there hadn't been one here since the 60s. And so I thought this was a very safe area when it came to hurricanes. Well, since I've lived here, there's been, I think, a hurricane every single year. So I don't know if I brought them with me. I'm sorry if I did. But the good thing about hurricanes, you get warning, okay? And the one thing I must tell you, I've been in some major snowstorms and had to go to work. I had to drive through them. They don't shut the doors at your office, your company, just because it was snowing. But a hurricane, yes, they shut the doors. In fact, they close up shop for an entire week if need be. They prepare that building, they get the sandbags out, and they want you to leave. They want you to prepare your house. They want you to hit the road, and they want you to get out of town for your own safe purposes. Now, a lot of people will hunker down. They will stay put. And then they'll go to the grocery store and they will clean those shelves off. No more toilet paper, no more canned goods, no more candles, no more batteries, no more water. They'll be gone. So you always have to have a go bag. And trust me when I tell you, it is real. But the thing about hurricanes is the pattern can shift. So sometimes you might be saying, okay, I'm going to head out to the west. Well, guess what? All of a sudden that hurricane starts heading that way. So then you have to start maneuvering around. So be prepared, have a go bag, have a little bit of an emergency fund just in case you need to get out of town and go somewhere. And have a plan. If you have pets, have a plan together. Always have batteries, have a radio on hand that is solar powered basically, or you can wind up so you won't have to worry if you have no power. A lot of people will invest in generators, and those will last for a few days. I've only ever been affected by a hurricane once, and the power was out for about 12 hours. But what I did to prepare was I just made a nice big meal, and then I was making sandwiches out of the meal. So it was okay for me. I was fine. A lot of times I was actually out of town for the hurricane, and that was because it hit in October, and I was always on a vacation celebrating my birthday. So those are my top 10 secrets that I wish I would have known about Jacksonville, Florida before I moved here. And the bonus things I wish I would have known is, one, the bugs. Okay, so the cockroaches here are so big and they fly. Okay, so be prepared. If you've seen cockroaches and they're little, those are the ones that like grease, and those are called, I believe they're called Spanish cockroaches. Well, here in Florida, they call them palmetto bugs because they're big and they fly and they even play dead. So don't get tricked by them. They will come at you in ways like you won't even know. Just beware. You will have to get bug service. So whenever, even in the apartment life here, they will usually have a service that comes for bugs. And when you buy a home, you'll want to get a bug service. The other thing about bugs here, they have termites here. And you might not be that familiar with termites because you live up north and they're not as prevalent up there. But termites here can eat your house. So make sure you get a termite inspection. Make sure you have a termite bond on your home and take care of your termites. You do not want them to eat your home. The other thing they have here are little lizards. I mean, they're everywhere and they crawl, they're everywhere. They don't get into the house too often. It's kind of rare if they do. But sometimes you'll see them stuck in your screen because they're small enough that they can get into any little crevice like that. And then they'll just be in there and eventually they're going to die. But yeah, you're going to get lizards, and lizards are everywhere and you're going to see them and they're kind of funny. But then all of a sudden you might see a bird come by and eat one. So you're just like, okay. But yeah, those little critters, beware. They're everywhere. And here's another bonus tip. Be prepared to mow your lawn very often in the spring, summer, and fall. The grass will grow so fast here, you might even have to cut it twice a week. And if you're not into doing lawn maintenance, there are a lot of companies that will come and take care of your grass for you. So kind of keep that in mind for your budget, because getting your grass cut is imperative, especially if you're in an HOA, because that's one of the things they regulate. They will write you up or send you a notice if you're not taking care of your lawn. So you're gonna want to be able to have service or a really good lawnmower. And frankly, you gotta have time to do it, because when that sun is out, it's too hot. So you're gonna have to do that in the early morning or the late afternoon to evening. And early morning's not that kind to your neighbors, so I would consider maybe doing it in the evening, but then you have to watch out for mosquitoes. That's another bonus. Yes, during the summer, the mosquitoes are no joke here. They will eat you alive. So, well, friends, thanks for watching. And remember, if you're considering relocating here from Illinois, any of the New England states, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Hampshire, Arizona, Colorado, come on, Illinois, Indiana, wherever you're thinking about trying to get away from the cold, hit me up. I want you to like this video, share, subscribe, and if you haven't seen some of my other videos, make sure you check them out over here. I've posted quite a few videos about different communities within the metropolitan Jacksonville area, and I have a lot of information for you out there. So please take the time, enjoy some of those videos, and if you need any help, if you're thinking about moving in 2 weeks, 2 months, or 2 years, make sure you click below. I have a Calendly link down there, and we can set up a time to have a conversation to get a game plan together for your relocation. I also have a relocation guide down there, so make sure you click that button for the relocation guide, and I'll get that sent out to you. Thanks for watching, friends, and remember, till next time, you got to be living the dream. Bye for now.